Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. This is Sandy, and it's Monday Night Live. And it's a time that I do each Monday night, and usually I have a topic. The topic tonight is actually season extenders, how to be able to start your garden earlier, how to make it last you longer. So that's really the topic that we're going to have. And so let me just say hi to some people that are already in here. Rebecca came in first. Rebecca, how are you? And then Wisha Patricia. I don't think you've been in one of my lives before, so welcome. How fun. And Dark Lord Minette, there's got to be a story behind there. You'll have to tell us. And Donna's in here. Hello, Donna. And Angie's in here. Hey, Ange, how are you tonight? And Mary Ranch. See, just fun, fun, fun. People are just popping in because it's Monday Night Live. That's right. Now, for the most part, almost everybody across the country, except for probably North Pole, Alaska, because we have friends up there and they still have about 4 feet of snow, are probably doing their gardens. And Craig's here. Hi, Craig. How are ya? And Kettle Kitchen. So much for modding my first live. You are so welcome. Tony had his first live, and so I was one of his mods, and it was just so much fun. And the Vineyard Chicks are in here too. Hey, girls, how are ya? Is it all three of you or just some of you? You'll have to let us know. So it's season extenders. Doris is here. Hi, Doris. And Tracy is here. Hi, Tracy Jones. How are ya? From PA. Awesome. So we're talking about season extenders tonight. And Pauletta, well, hello. Have you been in one of my lives before? If you have not, welcome. And so exciting to have new people in the live. Make sure all of you guys do a thumbs up. That always helps with our analytics when we're YouTube channels. So I appreciate that always. And we're talking about season extenders. So it's not just extending it in the fall, but what can you do to extend it now? Because across the north, we're just starting our gardens. In fact, today I was planting up my garden. I did a video earlier. Hello, Teresa. How are ya? And it's something that, because you just never know the temperature at night. Now, sometimes we have 70, 80, maybe 90 degrees, but what's the temperature for your plants in the middle of the night? Oh, it's Bunky Girl that is here. Well, Bunky Girl, we can talk about your sisters then. Oh, because they are having finals. Bunky, how are you? How is the garden going? Bunky is quite the little wizard with hydroponics and gardening and all kinds of stuff. So make sure you guys say hi to Bunky. And Jeannie is in too. Only have 30 minutes, then have to finish dinner. That's so sweet of you to pop in when you're busy. And Doug is here too. Hey, Doug. If Shelly's with you, hi, Shelly. And as you can see, Doug has a little S thing after his name. That means he is a member. Mary Ranch is a member. And Bunky, who is in here, Bunky has her own gardening channel. And she's actually a member, even though it doesn't have it after Vineyard Chicks. But if Bunky signed in under her other channel, it would show that. So everybody is just saying hi to everybody. Now, what we were talking about is what's the temperature at night at your house? Okay, it was 80 degrees. Not here, but someplace it was probably 80 degrees. But if it's going below 50 degrees and you have vegetables out there, other than cold, hardy vegetables that are used to being out there, you really need to cover them. Some of the plants we can bring in, like the 2-year-old tomato plant. Others we can start early. I'm not so great with starting them inside though. You did miss it, and the name is Star Wars Ref. I did miss it. I do like Star Wars. I haven't seen a Star Wars movie in a long time. I should watch one. How fun. Shelly is in here. So Doug and Shelly are both in here. Shelly is also a member, and you can always join and be a member. You click the join button. It's 99 cents a month. It just helps me do videos. Helps me with buying stuff for videos. So I appreciate it. And you will see Nightbot will pop channels on, and those guys are just all members. And I just always appreciate it, especially when they come into the lives too. I know everybody's busy, so don't ever feel like you have to stay for the whole live. Just come in, come out, say hi. Now I planted today. I planted brassicas, which usually I would have already had them planted earlier, though there was a lot of snow. So it was kind of a good thing that we got here later than normal. But I planted broccoli, cabbages, cauliflowers in the brassica family. I planted those potatoes that I had chitted in Arizona, put them in a box with soil, and they've been growing. They were breaking through the top of the soil. The roots were massive. So if you haven't seen that video, look at that video from today, and it's My Wyoming Garden, episode 1. Yenny Jan, I am just starting with chickens. Would you tell me what kind of predators do you think we have in the city? I do gardening and usually have a hard time with squirrels and bunnies, but that's it. In the city still, you can still have raccoons. Once in a while, you might get a fox if you're towards the edge of the city, or you're by a really large park. Hawks can be a problem with chickens, even in the city. There's a lot of predator birds that will just swoop down and take them baby chicks. So you're always better to have some kind of cover until they get larger, especially when you're just starting out with chickens. So I'm assuming that probably you have small chicks. That's just an assumption. You might have bought larger chickens too. But we've always had the sides, and then we've always covered it with welded wire, or you can use chicken wire, anything like that, because it doesn't really matter if you're in the city or in the suburbs or in the country. Things want your chickens. There are certain snakes that will come in. They'll try to eat the eggs, and some of them will try to eat little tiny chicks too. So you just have to be careful with that. And let me scroll down because I saw, well, looky here. Joanne Lynn, how are you? How you feeling, girl? I hope you're feeling better so you can stop over and see me. Ann Dale is in the house. Did we resolve the digging dogs? Joe talked to the neighbor. He said he was going to fill in all the holes. And so I'm assuming he will put some fence stuff up because his dogs will just dig again. But Joe spent the last 2 days, because the dogs would jump on the fence, the young one, not the old one, because they're two great big huskies. And so he dug around the posts of the fence and put more concrete in there and some metal bars. So that should stop them. So I'm hoping that has resolved the problem. It could be an ongoing saga, though. Thanks, Jeannie, for asking, though. Hi, Wayne. How are ya? Hello from New York. And down under Farm and Forge. Good evening. What day is it and what time is it for you? It must be tomorrow, early in the morning or in the middle of the night. Teresa, you are right. Sometimes in the city, we still have coyotes. Actually, in the town that we live in, sometimes we have mountain lions that still come in the middle of town. They will catch them. And dogs, cats, raccoons, foxes, and coyotes. So true. Occasional mountain lion. But we do live in Wyoming. But they have them in South Dakota over in Rapid City. they'll have mountain lions sometimes that are right in town. And so you just have to be careful with your little baby chicks, even when they get bigger. Raccoons, that is true. I'm just scrolling down. Everybody's saying hi. Charlie and Brandy, how are you tonight? I love it when everybody says hi to everybody. So I'm scrolling. Lavender for luck. Good evening. I love the koala bear. So fun. And Simply Jan is here. Hey, Jan, how are ya? Yenny Jen, you are in Gillette. We should meet up. That's what I say. I'm going up to, do you know where Sweetgrass Ranch is? It's north of town. It was that great big ranch. Should be back. That was the weirdest thing. All of a sudden, I am out of StreamYard. I'm over at this other screen, and it was like, what is happening? Oh my gosh. Anyway, Yanni Jen, do you know where Sweetgrass Ranch is? It's north of town. A few years ago, it sold for about $7 million. It's a huge ranch. Well, I went up there last year with Mandy at the extension office, and got a little tour around everything. Got to see their orchard and all their gardens and stuff that they're doing. Well, we're going up there tomorrow, and we are going to prune in some of the orchard, a few of the trees, so that they can get an idea. And it's honestly really too late. It's really later than what you should be pruning, but we're just basically teaching them and teaching some of the master gardeners who have not done that before. And so that should be interesting. And I'm sorry you guys lost me for a second. I hope everybody can see me now. And Nina is here. Nina is my newest member. And I knew that she was a member because the other day when I happened to be over here, I was just doing some stuff on this screen. At the very top, it said that Nina had become a member. So I appreciate that. I lost almost all of my full-grown chickens and my awesome protector rooster to the neighbor's dogs. Oh, the dogs, I've always seen that once dogs have eaten at chickens, they've gone after chickens, that is a hard thing to break them of. If Joyanne is in here still, she had that happen to her. And it's difficult to, because people are your neighbors, and then their dogs come in. And here in Wyoming, you can have them have to pay you for all your chickens and all kinds of stuff if their animals get into your property and kill your chickens or your sheep or whatever it is. Basically, on our pens for chickens, we want to have our fencing 3 feet in the ground and 3 feet out. Wow. That way the animals, they can't dig. I can understand that. Wow, that is deep to go down in there. Wow. My garden is good. I prepped a lot of straw bales for peppers because Bunky does straw bale gardening too. And I put old straw bales in the tomato rows. Awesome. You have been busy. I think I just missed. Oh, Anne must be in here. Hi, Anne. How are you? I'm sorry I missed you. I was trying to scroll through everything, and now I see everybody saying hi to Anne at Little Frenchie in Big Texas. How are you, Anne? And There she is. Anne is one of my members too. So I hope you check out all of the people that you see in the chat that have channels, and especially all of them that are my members. That always is so sweet. Now, I am going to, oh, Joe. What? Doug says hi. Who? Doug. Doug and Joe. He says, hi, Doug. He's going downstairs. Now, I'm going to pull up a video. When I went out and it went crazy, it disappeared, but let me grab it right now. And I will find it, and because I wanted to show you how I do some of my season extenders. And it is right. Come on. There it is. So I'm going to put that, and this was my very first greenhouse at our house. Let me scoot that back again. This is when we bought our house. There was no, it was basically weeds. This was actually our third greenhouse. This is our fourth. And so we've tried different sizes in different places. This was one of them. This is our second one. And after the plastic ripped, I actually that summer just put bamboo fencing on it. And it shaded the plants so they didn't get too hot. I didn't have to ventilate it or anything. Another season extender I do is PVC pipe. Great big, about 12 inches wide. This is just fabric cloth that is to help with frost. This is over at the community garden one summer. Sometimes you just have to put a sheet or a blanket over. It's going to get cold for one night. And then don't forget cloches. Those can be really good. If it's going to be cool or you're planting early, it's something that you can open up and then close at night. And this is not actually a season extender. This is how I protect my plants from hail. But see, that was my very first greenhouse on our property 17 years ago. Now this whole thing, everything that you're seeing is complete plants and trees and bushes, and it's fabulous. But those are some of the things that I do to extend the season. Planting in greenhouses or having things in pots that you can move in or out of your house or into a greenhouse is really helpful. And I thought, oh, there they are, the Hendricks Family Farm. How are ya? And Heather Lynn is in here too. Hi, Heather. How are ya? I hope I did not forget anybody. If I have forgotten anybody, just make a comment so I can say hi to you. I'm going to scoot that down farther. And the tarp here in North Nevada would be ripped due to the strong winds. Where do you get your bamboo? Actually, I got my bamboo at Home Depot. It's in the garden section. It's actually it's called bamboo fencing. And so it's very flexible. It's because all the bamboo is hooked by wire. And so you can put it over, like the one that had just the short bamboo and there were tomato plants under there. One summer, it was just extremely hot every single day. And my poor tomatoes, it didn't seem to matter what in the world, how much water I did. And so I put those PVC pipes as just kind of, support. And then I hooked those bamboo fencing on there and it worked so well. The sun still filtered down, but it wasn't so intense on those tomatoes. Because that summer, I don't remember how many, over 100 days that we had. It was just really unusual for us. In the summer, usually we might have total 5 days over 100. Most of the time it's in the 90s, in the middle of summer, end of July, August. And I just couldn't water those tomatoes enough, even though they had lots and lots of mulch. It was just one of those years. Oh, and Teresa's leaving us now. Have a great supper. And thanks for stopping by. Everybody's saying good night to Teresa. So tell me in the chat, things that you do for season extenders. And while you're starting to do that, sorry, I'm just trying to scroll through those. One of the other things that I've done to, I guess, basically extend my season on my tomatoes is my brother and I have done some testing of saving the very first tomato seeds and the very last tomato seeds. And those are the tomatoes of that type we grow again the next year. And after a few years of doing that, you got about 2 weeks more of tomatoes. They ripened earlier, and there was ones that lasted longer on those tomatoes. It was really interesting because you're always taking that very first red one, always saving the seeds, and then you're taking that very last one, and those are the plants that you're planting. Instead of just picking a tomato and saying, oh, I'm just going to save this one. And it added about 2 weeks. My brother and I had done that because we had read some articles and some tests that they had been doing to extend the life of a tomato plant. Now, excuse me. Oh, hello. How are you tonight? Joy, that was totally my fault. Everybody lost me. It wasn't just you. All of a sudden there was a weird glitch and it went to a different screen and I had to come back in, and I really don't have an answer for that. It just was one of those weird things. So I'm glad that you came back. And I'm not sure if you were in here when we were talking about dogs attacking chickens. And I said that you had that. Oh, you're getting over a cold yourself. I hope that you are okay. I like seeing the real walls and not the green screen. Well, the green screen would not fit in the truck with all of our stuff we had to bring home. So that's why there is no green screen. We are just in my living room. So, and I did think about buying one for up here, but I have one down there. So I guess in Arizona, we will have a green screen, and here we will not have a green screen. Last year we did a greenhouse. This year we did have time to plant. Awesome. It's really amazing on greenhouses. Even if they're not heated, you can still plant them earlier than you would, because like my greenhouse is not heated. And so what I would do is, that thermal mass of heat heats up the greenhouse during the day in early spring. And then I would just cover them with frost protection, that white cloth that you buy, and they would stay much warmer than without it. And I really, having a greenhouse, no matter what size it is, can be just so helpful. If you can't have a greenhouse, you can always do low tunnels. You're just using the PVC pipe or metal, and you're doing the hoops, and then you're putting cloth over top of it or plastic over top of it to extend your season. And that can be really helpful. And I must have missed. Yes, I did. It was awful. Finally, the dog is gone. I remember that saga. That was bad. Yeah, but once those dogs, like chickens, they will just chase them and kill them. And it's just like they just keep killing them. It's not that they're eating them. They're just killing them, which is really too bad. I love the yellow house art piece. Oh, it's right there. See? My friend Mary Reed, she found that picture someplace, the photograph of it. And she says, can you teach me how to paint that? And so I studied it for a while, and I said, I think so. Yeah. And so I taught her how to paint it. So her and I both have one. Because when I do that, I always paint along with them. Sometimes I'll even paint it first so that they can look at it, and then we do it together because it's a private art class. And it seems to help to do that. So let me scroll down. We had a lot of trouble with dogs killing chickens and rabbits. Yeah, it's a tough thing, Doug. And I mean, you invest into your animals, on your homestead. Even if you have only 6 chickens or you have 200 chickens, it can be really heart-wrenching when an animal, a dog or whatever, comes in, raccoon, comes in and kills your animals. They're part of your family, and it's very difficult. And especially if it happens to be a neighbor's dog or something. I was a bit scared for a moment, but I'm good. I'm glad you are good. Angie's saying hi to everybody. And Nightbot is just popping people up. That is awesome too. The taste of blood makes dogs to keep killing. Yeah, that's what I have heard too. Thank you so much for that, Hendrickson Family Farm. Hit that like button. Now, I did a video down in Arizona, and I showed about my little plastic cloches. I got them right here. Let me take these seeds out of there. And knee pads. What else do I got in them? Rhubarb seeds. Little bags to cover my apples so the birds don't eat them. It's all stuff I brought back from Arizona. Oh, Boston marrow seeds. Anyway, this is a clouch. And when I found these at the Dollar Tree store, I was just like, hoo. There's one. Okay, so all it is plastic. It has little holes every so often. And you use, like a plant stake or a piece of wire to hold it down. So this covers your young plant. So if it gets below 50 degrees, you just put it over top of it, close this little lid because it's nighttime, and it retains the heat. You want to close it about 5 o'clock at night before the sun goes down, so that heat just really starts to stay in there. And then in the morning, you just open it back up. It's like crazy fun for $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. They're going to have to change their name because everything's $1.25 in there now, not $1. But anyway, I bought all that they had that day. And I dropped, I'll get it later. I dropped one of the tops. But anything like that, even if you don't have stuff like that, say it's going to get below 50 degrees. Do you have some 5-gallon buckets? Just set them over top of that young plant, that tomato plant, or maybe you have walls of water. Last year, besides having my walls of water that I did with my tomatoes, I actually put them around my squashes and pumpkins, which I'm going to do this year again too. Because even in June, the first part of June, we can have nights below 50 degrees. And I just left those walls of water around those pumpkins and squashes. I bet you it was probably, June 15th, June 20th before I took them off. They were so strong, and they made the hugest pumpkins and squashes. So I'm going to do it again this year. I just thought it was fabulous. The boss is going to build my greenhouse this summer. I'm so excited. Jan, have you looked at your Department of Ag in your state? Because almost every state now at the Department of Ag have grants for greenhouses. And depending on that year and your state, they may pay for all your greenhouse, or they'll pay for a lot of it. Some friends of ours, we just saw the other day at the store, and they are putting up their greenhouse this weekend. And I said, did you get one from the Department of Ag? And he said, yes. So they paid, I think, around $3,000 of it. And it's like a $15,000, $18,000 greenhouse. So just look into it. If they don't have any grants available, they've used them all, just try it again next year. If you have space, why not get one and let the Department of Ag pay for part of it because your taxes are paying for that. And Doug is so kind. He is putting up links for everybody. Thank you so much. But that's very nice, Janet, that the boss is building you one. Let me go down here. No one has walls of water where I live. Have you looked online? Do you know that Walmart online used to sell them? I don't know if they still do. And actually, walls of water are made in Montana. And so look up walls of water, Montana, and see if you can get any. I don't know if you have to buy them wholesale from them and buy a whole bunch, but they used to always be made in Montana. So they might still be. Teresa says, I have seen people using plastic jugs, milk jugs. Yes. Anything like that you can use. The only problem with a milk jug, because you're cutting off the bottom, and I've used them before, but what I did was then I did a bamboo stake down through that hole, because where we live in Wyoming, it's windy. And even if I tried to ramp the soil around it, it wanted to blow away. But if I put that bamboo stake through there, not hitting the plant, it worked really good. And so use whatever you can. But if all you have is 5-gallon buckets or 3-gallon buckets at night, just cover them in the morning and take them off. The plant thinks it's nighttime anyway. And so why not? Anything that you can use, that's what you should do. We have been training collar for Brutus. Overall, he doesn't bother the livestock, but on occasion he has a glitch. I think it can happen, but sometimes you do have to have those training collars on your dogs because you want that. What's your advice in protecting young fruit trees? Well, actually, the white cloth that you have for so it doesn't freeze. I don't know why my brain will not think of what that's called. They also make these ones that are same material, and they're like a tube, and you can buy it. And in the box comes 5 of them. And so depending on how wide your fruit tree is, because it's a young tree, you just slide it right over top of it. And then you just tie it along the trunk, and it will help it. But I've draped blankets on them, sheets on them, anything that when it was going to get really cold and they were young and I didn't want anything happening to those fruit trees. You could actually just buy some of that cloth, that frost-free cloth, and just sew them based on the size of your young trees so that you could just slip them over in case it was really cold. And Anne wants to know, what is a wall of water? Oh, Anne, these are just so fabulous. They're in a circle, and there's actually 2 layers of plastic. And then about every 2 inches, the 2 pieces of plastic are sealed together. And so they make these little tubes, and it goes all the way around. And so it's an opening on the top. And so you fill them up, every single tube, and it makes this kind of like a triangle all the way around it. And the water heats up during the daytime, and it heats the soil inside there. And then it keeps everything warm through the night. I'll email you a picture of one. But they're fabulous. Now, the thing with walls of water, sometimes they want to tip over, and then all the water spills out and it squishes your plant. So I take a small tomato cage, I turn it upside down, I slide the walls of water on top of it, and then I fill it. And that way, it's really got some support, and it works really good. Angie says, I'm emptying out the front room and painting and rearranging this weekend, and next weekend, I am planting my gardens. Woohoo! I stopped at Angie's house on our way back from Arizona, and her garlic was fabulous looking. Huge rhubarb, Yeah, her garden is doing good. And if you can't find any walls of water, if you don't mind a used wall of water, I'll mail one to you so you could just try it. But it can really help. I've used them on cucumber plants when the nights are going to be under 50 degrees for a while, because it takes a while for the cucumber plant to really start the vine anyway, and it keeps it warm and it makes it strong and it gets a good root system, and I think it just works perfect. NRCS is a good one to look into. Are we talking about greenhouses? You'll have to let me know because I probably missed the conversation. I'm sorry. I'm going to use tool to protect my fruit trees. Awesome. Yeah, anything that will just help it with those few degrees that can really affect the fruit trees when they're young. It's springtime. You know, when they get older, they can withstand a lot more than they can when they're young. And I hope I spelled that right. I think so. Like all my pears and my wild plums, they were all in full bloom when we had snow sideways the other day. But it really stayed about 32 degrees. I think there was one of my bleeding hearts in the back where the cool air must have came down the hill, and that's the only bleeding heart that had frost damage on it. I didn't have anything else with frost damage. So I was happy about that. Seriously, because well, you know, you have your fruit trees, you've had them for a long time, they flower, and then it gets snowy and cold, and then you don't get half the fruit that you should have got. But my apple trees are just opening up. My peach trees haven't opened up. Gooseberries haven't opened up. Raspberries, of course, because my raspberries won't be ready till in June. So it's interesting when you live north. Please repeat, Jan, the Department of Ag, your Department of Agriculture. You can just go onto it, and then where there's a search bar, write grants or write greenhouse grants. The Department of Ags also have specialty grants. So if you want to try something inside the greenhouse or outside the greenhouse as a specialty crop that you might be able to turn around and sell, they have grants for that. And they have 1-year grants, 2-year grants, and 3-year grants in Wyoming anyway. In Texas, we can get a greenhouse grant, but you have to pay for it up front and they reimburse you. That is so weird. Why would we not have to do that here? I guess it just depends on how the states set things up, though. But if it's possible for people to pay for that greenhouse and then get reimbursed, you know, that saves you a lot of money and it gives you lots of opportunities. You can start your plants early as a season extender. You can grow things, because a lot of those greenhouses, they're 30 by 72 feet. Some of them are bigger than that. Some of them are a little bit smaller than that. And that you can grow a lot of stuff in those. And so it's interesting on what you can do. Oh my gosh, the chat is going way so fast. Here in northern Nevada, we do not want you building anything higher than 5 feet tall without telling them. Oh, wow. That is interesting. The wolf that could. How are you? I hope you're having a good week. Frost cloth. They have a name for it. It looks like it's white. We buy it in rolls or in boxes and you unfold it. It would remind you of a sheet, only the texture of it is way different. And I mean, I have rolls of it outside, and why I can't tell you the exact name of it, I don't know. The brain is going to have to go through the files so I can figure that out. They try to preserve the skyline here, which I get. If you see it yourself, you would understand. I have been in Nevada, and it is very beautiful. Walls of water. Awesome. Doug, see, he can just find anything. But walls of water are, I have really liked using them. And I've had them for a long, long time. But it used to be for a while, you could just go into Walmart. I mean, years ago, and you could just buy them. Then you could only buy them on their website. And I assume they still have them on their website, but I haven't had to buy them for a long time. And sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Is just so fast. And I apologize if I don't see one of your things, and I miss you. I'm sorry. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. And I'm at 40 minutes. So what am I doing this spring? I have, Madeline says it's bedtime on the East Coast. Not all. I'll catch the rest tomorrow. We're going to close in just a second anyway, too. Madeline, thank you so much for stopping in. And Lynn is in. I thought you were flying. Oh, she's in Houston Airport. She told me earlier, I'm not going to be on, I can't stop in your live. I'm on an airplane. So, but I planted my potatoes and my brassicas today. There's a video up. And all my raised beds have these hoops, PVC pipe hoops, and they have plastic. So I can just pull it over the top and use some clips and hook it. So about 5 o'clock tonight, I went out, covered them all up, hooked them. Then one of them where I planted the cabbages, I don't know, it's stuck on a nail or something down in between, and there's not very much room between that and the fence. I couldn't get it to work. And so I took 5-gallon buckets and I turned them upside down and put them on there. Because you just have to do what you have to do. And in the morning, early, I will go take them off, and it's supposed to be kind of rainy tomorrow, and they won't mind that it's rainy, and it'll be fabulous. But I'm going to let you go because it's 42 minutes, and I like my lives to stay at basically 30 minutes because there's so many lives, and I hate to cut into anybody else's space. But one more time, Nina, thank you so much for being my newest member. I appreciate you. I appreciate all my members. So I hope you guys have a great night. Actually, this week, there's going to be a video every single day this week. I just have so many things, you know, so much to do, so little time. I tell you, anybody need some rhubarb seeds? I'd send them to you. Doug and Shelly, I would send you some seeds so you could try to grow rhubarb. Because if they can grow it in Arizona, you should be able to grow it in Mississippi. That's what I think. But everybody, good night. Have a great night. Look forward to all the videos. My video tomorrow won't be up until late because I'll be out pruning in an orchard. I think it takes about an hour to get there, that we're driving early in the morning. But I'll take some video. It is spectacular up there. But for $7 million, it should be spectacular. But it's going to be great fun to go up there and see all what she's got in her gardens already. And it's going to be a great day. Everybody, bye.